Hello, and welcome back to another episode of A Recent Study Suggests. We are your hosts, Robert.
And I'm Sam.
And I don't know why, but I've been recently thinking about my first job.
What even was your first job?
I worked at Burger King.
That's right. Did you, though? Did you really work at Burger King?
I was there for a month.
Yeah.
But honestly, it feels like I was there for way longer.
I can so relate to that. My first job, I think I worked even less than you. I think it was, well, I don't know. Was it I never can remember if it was 3 weeks or 3 months.
That's a big difference.
Yeah. Because it, like you said, it felt so much longer, but I don't think it really was.
You can say 3 months and I would believe you.
You know, I think it was 3 months. Yeah, for sure.
Or maybe it was 3 weeks. Who knows? How old were you when you got your first job?
17, I think.
Definitely still in school, right?
Yeah.
How old was I when I got my first job?
Probably around the same age.
I think so too.
I think you were 17 or 18.
I had done some like smaller things that weren't really like on the books. I used to, I don't know, be like a pool manager, not a lifeguard. I was not a lifeguard. I was never there like throughout the day. It was more of like, hey, I hear, do you have your pool tags? I got to open and close the pool.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I would get paid a little bit for that.
Mm-hmm. Why were you thinking about your first job?
I don't know. It just made me think of like, what is someone's like real first job? And it got me thinking about Burger King. Oh, also because you brought up McDonald's and their playpens at one point.
Oh, yes.
And also I had seen in the news that Burger King is bringing back their like spicy chicken fries.
Okay.
And so I just had Burger King and McDonald's and fast food on my mind. And that made me think, I used to work at Burger King. That was my first real job. And it made me think about I was only there for a month, but still there was like enough weird experiences there that just stick with me. Because otherwise it was a boring job. I was never like a cook.
What did you do?
I only took orders from the front.
So you're the cashier.
Yeah. I think I was supposed to get trained in taking orders through the drive-thru, but I would always try to avoid that. And I successfully did. I never took any orders from the drive-thru. Just, I don't know, that for some reason felt more challenging to me. Even though I guess it's just waiting around and listening for that on the headset.
It really is just you taking orders from a different spot in Burger King.
But now I have this headset on me, and like I introduce a whole host of new issues and problems. I'm like, I wasn't prepared to tackle.
And then younger you would have never guessed that you would be wearing headsets almost daily for work and for podcasting.
Yeah, and hearing that, I don't know, speaker voice. But I was also thinking about how I think this happened more than once where people would come in with coupons that weren't for Burger King.
What were they for?
I remember
McDonald's,
specifically someone brought in a coupon for Jack in the Box. They were like, oh, hey, can we use this here and get this burger?
Can you match the price? I know that there are some grocery stores that do that. Like, oh, if Walmart has this discount, we have it too. So you don't have to go there. Just come directly to us.
Yeah, no, that was not the case with Burger King. Yeah. Or any fast food. Like, no, this is a completely different product. But yeah, it was like a paper coupon because it was more paper back then, not apps. And
back then, you're so old. Oh my gosh, it really was like a decade ago.
Yeah.
Whoa, old man alert.
And I grabbed this guy's coupon. I'm like, no, this is from Jack in the Box.
You're at Burger King.
You're at Burger King. How do you not? You didn't see the sign when you walked in, like right there on the front door. That big, like burger billboard.
Yeah.
You didn't see that?
Do you think maybe he was hoping that you wouldn't notice that it was from Jack in the Box?
He wouldn't have gotten the burger he wanted though. So I was really confused. And I'm like, okay, even if I gave you what you wanted, we don't make the same thing.
Maybe it's not even the case of him wanting that burger specifically. He wanted the price for whatever he wanted to order.
Maybe. I remember being upset. I ended up getting fired.
Wow.
Yeah. I got upset because it was
Were you fired or like let go because they didn't need
no, I was
you?
fired.
Aw.
Yeah, and it was really frustrating to me afterwards. I'm like, I didn't really want to work there, but the way I was let go annoyed me because maybe like 2 weeks into it, I took the day off. Like I called in to whatever manager was at the time, and I said, I'm gonna take the day off. I have something else to do. Whatever. I didn't say I have something else to do.
Or whatever.
I gave them some other excuse. I'm like, okay, whatever, sure. Then I came in the next day, and I got talking to him like, oh, hey, if you're gonna take the day off, like call in sick the day of. Make sure you talk to the manager, your manager, for your shift. I'm like, okay, well, I don't have the number. I know they were here, whatever.
So much whatever is happening at this time. You're so full of angst.
Yeah,
Your teenage ways.
whatever.
Oh, gosh.
And then another 2 weeks later went by, and I was gonna take the day off too. And so I'm like, okay, I have to call
Your main manager?
my main manager.
Uh-huh.
So I called the number that's like on the website. I'm like, I didn't have it memorized. The Burger King. Okay, I called. It's a wrong number. I remember I had a receipt from Burger King because I would also get lunch from there. The number on the receipt was also wrong. I'm like, okay, well, how am I
They're
supposed to let
impossible.
you know
Yeah.
that I'm taking the day off? So I'm like, okay. Burger King luckily was like 5 minutes away. I could walk there. So I did. I walked there, and I spoke to a manager that wasn't my manager, and I said, hey, I tried calling. No one's answering. Wrong numbers. But I'm going to take, the day off. Can you please tell my manager? Like, yeah, sure, whatever. Again. Next day I come back. Or whatever. I can't remember exactly, but like I wasn't on the schedule. I'm like, why am I on the schedule? I went in. I'm like, hey, why am I not on the schedule? Like, oh yeah, we need to talk to you. You're fired, essentially. And what really annoyed me too was that they said that the last day I was there, the register was short, like $2. So I had to give them $2.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't take the money.
Yeah.
Someone else did. You guys counted wrong. I don't know. But I was 16, 17 at the time.
I'm very surprised that you still go to Burger King after that.
So I just gave them $2. But I gave them all in coins.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is all I have. Here's $2.
What made you bring all of this up? Your Burger King experience.
Like I said, you just mentioning fast food. I saw Burger King in the news. Made me think of like Burger King as my first real job. And it made me think about other people's first real things. Like in the case of today's studies, people's real furniture rather than their fast furniture.
Yeah. Grown up furniture, some would say.
And when people think it's time to grow up and get real furniture.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. But before we get into it, why don't you tell everyone what a recent study suggests is about, Sam?
Well, as the name would suggest, we talk about recent studies. We find topics that we think are particularly interesting, and likely there is a study that exists about it. And so we find them, we talk about them, we turn them into conversation starters, and we hopefully make each other and our lovely listeners a little bit smarter.
So 56% of people agree that it's time to grow up and buy real furniture by age 28.
It's so specific.
And you're 28 now.
I'm 28. You're almost 28.
I'm almost 28. You're a cougar. You like them young.
Gosh. You know, I often forget that we are not the same age. Because you were recording the other podcast that you recorded last week, and you mentioned that you were 27, and I was like, oh, Robert forgot his age. He's 28. But then I remembered, oh, that's right, I'm 5 months older than you. You're a little baby.
I like to tell people that you're 5 years older than me.
Goodness.
She likes
See,
them real young.
I say you're just a little baby, but you are not a baby. People think you are so much younger than you actually are. Recently, someone guessed that you were 21. 21.
Yeah, I think it's because I don't have facial hair.
You do have it. You shave it off.
Yeah, but I don't grow it. Like, I don't have a full beard.
Yeah.
It comes in a little bit. Like if I was
Aw.
14, 15.
You don't have a man stash.
And I'm happy about that.
Oh.
I hate beards.
I like a beard.
You wouldn't like it on me.
I would, but I don't want to, say that I would like a beard on you and then you get sad that you can't grow a beard. I love your face as it is.
I'm perfectly fine with no facial hair.
Okay.
And you can't change that. But I will be sad
Clearly,
forever.
I can't.
Because you said that you would prefer me with a beard.
You'll wake up in the morning with little hairs glued onto your cheeks that I shaved off of my legs.
Gross.
That's how you get a full face of hair.
So would you say that we have real furniture?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, this study's all about fast furniture versus not fast furniture, what they call real furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Fast furniture being things that you can pick up like from IKEA or Walmart.
Yeah. So fast furniture in this study is defined as something that's inexpensive, mass produced, designed quickly to be assembled and replaced. So it's often made out of like particle board, which is not a sturdy material, but it is easy to create quickly and, pump out to buyers.
Yeah, and over half of the people surveyed here said that they currently own fast furniture, but 56% of people believe it's only acceptable to have fast furniture in your 20s. So you can't be 30 and have fast furniture.
Yeah, like this is your transition furniture. You're just starting your life either on your own or with a friend or a partner. And this is the stuff that gets you settled in so that you can live your life the way you want to. So it serves the right purpose, but it's not meant to go about your life with you long term because it's not meant to last.
This kind of bothers me a little bit.
What?
This, like, oh, you need to have real furniture by a certain age. Because who cares?
Yeah.
And who can really tell whether or not what you have is fast furniture or not?
Well, I think you can tell.
I think in
Usually.
some things you can.
Yeah.
But a lot of fast furniture looks also like good, I guess.
And that's the point. It looks the part, but once you start using it in practice, you realize that it's not sturdy. It's like fast fashion. It looks the part. It looks really cool and trendy and fun, but the strings are loose. It's not very sturdy and it's thin material. And you notice those little things that there's not as much attention paid to the quality of the item.
But sometimes it works and looks like it is, I don't know, I don't want to say the real thing. Like we have, our bed is technically fast furniture.
Is it?
Yes.
Isn't it from like Wayfair? Is that fast?
Yes. Wayfair's fast furniture. Our TV stand, that's technically fast furniture. But I don't think either things look it.
Yeah. And I think the things that we got as well are very sturdy, and we bought them with the intention for them to last, and we're going to have them for a very long time. And when we're done with them, maybe we'll sell them on like Facebook Marketplace or something like that.
Before we found the bed that we have now, we were looking at other beds that cost almost 10 times as much as we paid for our bed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I understand that furniture needs to be as pricey as it is because of, shipping and the amount of effort that goes into making these products. Like they're pretty big and there's a lot of resources that go into it. So I get that. But dang, it's like, it's almost as if furniture is a luxury.
It seems like it, yeah.
Like it's a privilege, really, to be able to have furniture. That makes so much sense. I remember when I was in college, I was selling my furniture and my clothes, and I identified as a minimalist at the time, if you can believe it, me a minimalist. And that was because I couldn't afford school, and having furniture was a privilege that I just couldn't have because I instead wanted to be a student and get my degree. So I can 100% understand why someone would go for fast furniture. It's not ideal because the workers are not in the best conditions and not getting paid fairly. But, furniture is expensive. It's hard to have everything that you want for the price that you can pay.
I think another piece that we have is a side table. That's fast furniture. I don't know where it's from. Walmart?
You got it. Yeah. It was like,
Target?
I think, yeah, it was Target. You needed something and it served the right purpose.
Yeah.
It's one of those few pieces that we brought in, or you brought in when we just moved in as like a transition piece, and it stayed because we haven't found a replacement.
Yeah, it's still around. And it's fine. It works just fine. So that's why I'm also hesitant to like replace what we have, what's considered fast furniture, with real furniture, especially because of the price. It doesn't really matter.
Right. Yeah. I've replaced slowly a lot of the furniture that I brought in when we moved in together for what I guess qualifies as real furniture because it's sturdier and it matches our style more. It's a little bit, some of it is more expensive. And I care what our furniture looks like.
That's always something that bugs me, is when you say our style. I pick out these things. Like, I don't really. You say our style, you mean your style.
I guess so. Sometimes I ask you like, hey, what do you think about this? But then other times I'm like, no, I really, really
You just buy
like
it.
this.
And then it shows up. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know you were buying this. And now we have this.
And you love it. You mentioned how you don't like the idea of how past your 20s, you shouldn't have what's called fast furniture in your house. I'm actually really glad that my parents kept the quote unquote fast furniture in our house when I was growing up because I was notorious for destroying furniture. Always. I used to draw on my bed with Sharpies in multiple colors. And if I wasn't doing that, I also constantly had a collection of nail polish in which I would use as paint to put on my bed. So if I didn't like my Sharpie drawings that were on my bed, I was covering it in nail polish or stickers. And I'm grateful that my parents got us cheap furniture because I would just destroy it. I was so bad. I would even peel it. You were talking about how fast furniture can often look like the real thing with the fake wood. It's like vinyl. I would peel that off of my bed and then it would expose the particle board, which just kind of crumbles when you touch it. My bed was all sorts of falling apart when I was younger. And I don't think I stopped doing that until I was like 13, 14.
Was there any real particular reason why you destroy furniture?
I thought I was making it better. I didn't really like it. It was just very basic. It served the right purpose, but it didn't visually stimulate me or excite me in any way. So I tried to make it better.
So do you think your perspective has changed since then? Because it seems really like you could say, oh, you were just being artistic and creative in this boring piece of furniture that you had.
Yeah, I was instead using it as a canvas.
But now you're like, I destroyed it. I ruined it. I ruined it.
But the thing is, I did. It was unusable. Like, there was no way. After you scrape off all the stickers and the nail polish, the Sharpies are still there. The Sharpie marks. And even if we were to have sanded it down, it's not real wood. So you're not scraping off anything. You're just putting scrapes into the vinyl, which then starts to peel off, and then you expose the particle board, and then you're down to the materials in the furniture that make it not long lasting, and so it just crumbles away.
Your destruction wasn't limited to furniture. I've said this so many times before, but you just didn't have respect for things in general.
I was bad.
I will never forgive you for this. I bring it up every so often.
Oh my goodness. I know where you're going.
You messed up my phone
Oh goodness.
in the course of one day.
Not intentionally. it wasn't me being a mischievous teenager. Like as a child, I knew full well what I was doing when I was basically graffitiizing my own things.
You just didn't take care of things.
I don't know, I guess.
And that even like goes up to present day Sam. I have a laptop that you were borrowing for some reason and you dented it.
What?
The screen, you dropped it on the floor.
That wasn't present. That was like when I was in college.
Not that long ago.
That was so long ago. Robert, look.
And as a child, you were still destroying things.
I was not presently bad. I think I was going to say my proudest moment, but I guess I could say in this context, my proudest moment as a rebellious youngster in my time of destroying furniture, I was being extra cocky and big of myself, and I took to our TV console, I guess. They were shaped like boxes because back then the TVs were shaped like boxes, and you would insert the TV into it. I went up to the side of our TV console with, I don't even know what, Robert. I think it may have been like a nail cutter, but you know how you can flip up part of the nail cutter and there's something where you can like scrape underneath your nails?
Yeah.
Something like that I used to scrape into the TV console. And I wanted to tag it with my name, but quickly realized that there are too many curves in my name for that to be easy. And so I thought very quickly, oh, my brother's name has a lot of lines in all caps. And so I carved his name into the TV console exactly where everyone could see it when they passed by, because it was right next to our front door. And that's essentially right where your eyes go when you turn left.
How big did you carve this?
It wasn't huge.
I thought in my head like maybe an inch.
I think it was like 1.5 to 2 inches, but it was a dark wood. And when you carve into it, it exposes the lighter wood. And so his name was very visible. And I thought maybe nobody will see it. And my mom, she saw everything. Always. And she got so mad at him. And honestly, I was surprised that she blamed him. But I was like, oh yeah, because it's his name. I think I was 6 or 7 at the time. And he got in so much trouble.
In no way it could be the little princess.
Yeah. Not Sammy. She's a baby. That's what my mom used to say. I didn't tell anybody for years.
You kept that secret forever?
It
haunted you?
I kept the secret until I was a teenager, and I told my sister, and all she did was laugh. And then I told my mom, maybe like a year or 2 after I told my sister, and by then it doesn't even matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I never got in trouble for it.
Of course not. I don't remember breaking much furniture.
Much furniture?
Or any furniture, really.
I didn't break it either.
But I would break windows.
Multiple? Okay.
Multiple windows. Because I was really into baseball. And we had a wide enough living room, I guess, where I could throw a ball to a couch that was right in front of a window.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Because
And-
you didn't have any friends.
And I would just throw the ball from, I mean, it was like, what, 8 feet away from the couch, maybe, to the couch.
To the couch, and then it would bounce back.
And it would bounce back to me.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
And then on rare occasions, I would throw it too high and I would break the window of our living room. And we lived in apartments, and thankfully we never got like charged for this, but like, oh, hey, our window is broken. Can you fix it?
I bet that's really common in apartments.
And they
people's
fixed it.
windows getting broken.
And then the second time I broke a window, I think honestly I did it 3 times, but I don't remember the second time. I remember the last time I did, though. I was outside, also just throwing the ball around, and it got away from me, and it went like 30 feet away and somehow like hit the lip of something and bounced up
Oh.
into a window of another apartment.
Robert.
Yeah.
Bad boy.
I didn't do it on purpose. I honestly have no idea how it happened because I was pretty far away. I was like at my house and the other house was like 30, 40 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I don't know. I'm always bad at measuring that far. And luckily I found out the next day, nobody lived there.
Oh. Well, good for you, I guess.
I guess. So I never got in trouble for that one.
I was going to say, you got out of that.
I got out of that one because I'm like, oh, I just grabbed my ball, went back home.
And then you never did it again.
And I never did it again. Never said anything.
And that's when he gave up on baseball.
I break too many windows.
Mm-hmm.
There's like videos out there, you know, they have the ceremonial first pitch where they get celebrities or other people to throw out the first pitch before the game actually starts. And there are some really bad first pitches where, you know, a lot of pregame activities. There's people on trucks moving and driving around, and a guy threw it completely off and broke the window of a truck that was driving by.
Oh, no.
I was like
that's
that.
you.
I'm like, I can't do that. I have to just never touch a ball again.
I love that soundbite.
Otherwise, I'm going to break windows. But I thought I hadn't broken any furniture. And as we were prepping this podcast, I texted my mom, like, have I broken anything? I don't remember. And she said, yes, that I had broke a dining room table.
She remembered that fast.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't remember this.
Break an entire dining room table.
The thing is, she exaggerated. I exaggerated as well. Apparently, I was running around with a friend of mine, and I don't know, I think I slipped or something and hit the leg of the table. And it broke, but it didn't like snap off. We could still use the table.
It was just wobbly.
Yeah, it was just wobbly and broken. And that's the extent of it.
So it was an accident.
Yes.
All of your time of destroying things were accidents.
And like I said, we lived in apartments. So, and we were really close friends with the maintenance man that worked there. I'm like, hey, can you fix our table? And he did. He fixed the leg.
See, that's really cool. You were like responsible. All of the things that happened around you and furniture were purely accidental. Whereas I was very different. And I knew full well, like I said, what I was doing. And even if I wasn't tagging it, graffitiizing it, carving into it, I didn't take very good care of it knowingly. I've mentioned before that I was a major snacker as a child, and I would eat on the couch watching TV pretty much daily. And we always had like finger foods in wrappers, like chocolate bars, candy bars, and chip bags, or even, you know, those big Cheeto balls in the big tin. It's like a plastic container. I would get those for myself, or I wouldn't buy them. My parents would buy them for me. And if I was eating the Cheetos, and I don't know, I guess it wasn't so much with the Cheetos because I would lick every ounce of Cheeto dust off of my fingers. But if it was like chips, I would wipe my chip fingers on our couch.
You're so gross.
Either behind one of the throw pillows or on like the arm. Or if it was candy, I don't know why. Like as if it was hard to grab my wrappers afterwards and throw them away. I would grab my candy wrappers and shove them into the cushions of the couch, thinking my mom would never notice.
Yeah, and I didn't do any of this. Yesterday, when we were preparing this podcast, I felt like ashamed of you.
Ashamed of me?
I'm like, wow, I can't believe this is who you were.
Yeah. And the thing is, as we were talking about this, like, it's so crazy. Studies like this just bring up all of these memories. I otherwise would have completely blocked this out because these are my bad girl days. I would not have remembered any of this had it not been for this study. And I'm not proud of it, okay? I was bad. Like I said, I would destroy furniture.
The most that I can relate to this. Really, you said all these things happened accidental or not because of me. Was because one bed that we had got bed bugs, and it was really gross, and so we got rid of it. And I bought a metal bed just so like bed bugs didn't really have places to hide. And so that's to me that's like destroyed furniture, but it wasn't because of me.
Right.
Just happened. And a couch story that I have is I would never put wrappers in the cushions or wipe my hands off of it, but we had birds that would pull at the threads of the couch, of the arm.
Yeah. But that wasn't caused by you.
Yeah, and I think at this point we had that couch for so long, we were like, whatever.
Yeah.
Let them pull at the threads of the couch.
I feel bad that I was like that. I'm glad though that I'm different now because I care about the quality and appearance of our furniture. I feel like our furniture is like the equivalent of formulating an outfit. It's like we're dressing up our home. Like it's a reflection of our personality and our personal style. And so I guess that's how I feel like we now have grown up furniture in a way. Though, I don't know. I feel like our version of real or adult furniture is actually quite kid-like and playful. It's colorful and funky shapes. We have a hand chair, and I'm currently sitting on my desk chair, which lets me wobble around and feel like a little kid. But it's not fast furniture. It's a little bit pricey, but worth it, in my opinion. And one of the things that the study mentions is second-hand furniture and how that is a good way of not contributing to fast furniture, which I know that a lot of people avoid because they think, like you were talking about bed bugs, they think, oh, it's dirty. You just clean it off, though. You find good quality stuff. So that's what I do. I look for secondhand first. And if I can't find it, then I'm willing to save up for big ticket purchases. And if it comes to that. So, yeah, no more graffitiizing furniture. I can spend lots of money on it.
I can understand why people don't buy used furniture, though. That's something that was said in the study that most shoppers, they won't buy used furniture. They'll buy it new. And I can understand that to a point, especially fast furniture, because it's already so inexpensive. You know, if you can buy a bed for $200 and you see that same bed listed somewhere else for like $150 or $100, we're like, well, I could just spend $100 more and know for sure that it's new and doesn't have all these other people's stink on it.
Other people's stink?
Yeah.
You say that, and I feel like you're taking a jab at me because I recently made a secondhand purchase of chairs, and you claim that it smells like something that I don't really smell. I only smelled it because I put my nose super close to it and inhaled deeply.
It was gross. It was like cigarette smoke.
It definitely is not cigarette smoke.
But you could smell it instantly. At least I could. When you brought them, I smelled it instantly. How do you not pick up on that?
I think my sense of smell is still bad. After I got COVID the first time in like 2021, I think my nose is slightly broken. I think everything smells fine, really. So secondhand furniture is perfect for me because I wouldn't know the difference if it smells or not.
Part of me also thinks that you're still into like fast furniture in a way. Not in the sense that you go to IKEA or all these, quick stores and buy new stuff. Just in the sense that you keep changing the things really quickly. You'll have something for a little bit and like, okay, I'm bored of it. It goes away. And then, okay, now I have a new thing.
I can see why you would think that. And a lot of that is because when we moved in together, my style was very different. I thought it was like really boho and warm and wicker, rattan and all of those things. So what I've been doing is swapping all of those things that I had before for the same item, but in a different, like it serves the same purpose, but it's a different style. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm not like, oh, I hate our bed. 2 weeks after we got this one, let's replace it with something else. It's just swapping out the things that we came here with, and instead getting more adult furniture.
I know it's not furniture, but I feel like one of the things that I definitely wouldn't want to buy used or from maybe not used, but from a specific like fast fashion or fast furniture is rugs. Because I feel like those inexpensive ones are usually made cheaply and they shed forever. They never stop shedding. Like we have a rug in our living room that you bought from like a quick place.
But it was expensive, I thought.
Wasn't it like $200?
No.
$300?
No.
But it was still from one of those fast furniture, fast
I guess
things,
so.
places.
Yeah, rugs in general are just very pricey.
And it has not stopped shedding.
Yeah,
It's been over a year.
we thought that like, okay, 2 months later, it'll stop doing this. No. It's beautiful. It really is. And I am so shocked that it is even still so full because I swear it's lost all of its hair. Like, you know how when you brush your hair and well, maybe you can't relate because you have such a full head of hair. But when I brush my hair, I feel like so much comes out. And I often wonder, how am I not bald? And the thing is, our bodies regenerate.
But not rugs.
And we keep creating hair, but the rug, I'm very surprised that it still has fibers. Maybe one day it won't. That's so sad. Yeah.
Is there like a piece of furniture that you wouldn't buy? I don't know, used, I guess?
That I would not buy used.
Yeah.
A piece of furniture? No. I would not mind if everything in our home was secondhand. Like that would honestly, like I said, I go secondhand first. Because if it already exists, then I'm not contributing to the manufacturing of something new. Like there's no resources, anything that needs to go into it because it already exists. And I feel like that's far more sustainable than paying for something to be made new. So I really don't care. I don't even care if my technology was secondhand because if it functions like new and it's fine, then okay. And more often than not, it's cheaper too.
Yeah. Just sometimes you're not sure whether it will function like new until after you bought it. You don't have that assurance. I think for me, there's a like price limit where I'm like, okay, that's too expensive. I'll buy it used.
Right. I think you also need to consider the original price of the product because if something is $1,000 used, that outright just sounds crazy. But if in comparison to the original price, which is like $4,500, well then paying $1,000 for this thing doesn't sound so bad anymore.
And also, what's in my mind is, am I contributing to a criminal empire? Like when I'm buying things used, like on Facebook Marketplace, you can see these companies essentially selling these really expensive products, but they have lots of them. Like, how did you acquire them?
Yeah.
How do you have these?
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned that. It reminds me of a movie we watched recently. What was it? Something the Criminal?
Emily the Criminal, I believe.
Emily the Criminal. They were doing stuff like that. They were like stealing people's identities and buying TVs and like really big stuff and then selling them off of like Facebook Marketplace for cheap. Still a lot of money, but cheap. And they were making a lot of money. Not that we're saying that people should be doing that, but you're right. That does exist.
And that is something that I like, especially for the big purchases that I want. Like I want a nice chair. The chair costs nearly $2,000. But on Facebook Marketplace, I can see it for $800 or $1,000. I'm like, okay, but it's not from an individual. It's from like the seemingly big company that has a lot of them in it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but I don't know if I want to contribute. Like, I don't know how like shady you are, and I'm like, I'm gonna stay away.
Yeah. Why do they have 10 of them and they're new in box?
Yeah, and so that makes me like, you know what? I'm just gonna get it directly from the manufacturer.
Right. Because you can trust that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just about being aware of where your furniture is coming from. And that's fine. Like if you have the money to afford it, then sure. Just don't contribute to fast furniture if you can avoid it. And also don't be like me and don't be like childhood me and destroy your stuff. Unless that's the look you're going for, because graffitiized looking furniture, that's a thing. That looks cool. That's not a thing I was going for, really. As a child, I was just exploring my creativity and trying to see. I often would push the boundaries. Were you ever a kid who drew on walls?
No.
I was. 100%.
No, I'm not a monster.
You know, I even tried to convince an adult that it was okay that I was drawing on the wall. I remember.
Like a babysitter?
No, like a family friend. I remember I grabbed my box of crayons and I comfortably sat in front of our wall in the dining room and started drawing a picture on the wall. And
Ever heard of Paper Sam?
I had it too. That's the thing. I had all those things, but the wall was just this canvas that had not been explored, and I was curious, and I was trying to make it better. And the thing is, at this point, like I said, I comfortably sat in front of the wall and started drawing on it because every time I would do it, my mom would just clean it off. And she would get mad at me, but then she would clean it off. And so I had a new canvas to then draw on.
She should have made you clean it off.
Well, this adult walked up to me and was like, "Hey, are you supposed to be doing that?" And I was like, "My mommy doesn't care. She says it's okay." And she's like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I remember I turned back and continued to draw. And then this adult then went up to my mom and was like, "Hey, did you say it's okay for Samantha to draw on the wall?" And she was like, "What? No." And I was like, "Dang it. Like, why didn't she just take my word for it?" And then my mom got mad at me and I had to stop drawing. And I wasn't even upset necessarily that my mom got mad. I was upset that I had to stop because I was in the middle of my creative flow.
Mm-hmm.
And this adult got me in trouble. I don't know if that was the last time I did it. That was the last time I got caught for it.
Yeah, I just, like I said earlier, hearing all these stories, I'm like, I can't believe you.
It makes you question me, doesn't it? It makes me question me too.
Like, who are you?
Yeah.
But then also at the same time, you look at me and you're like, were you ever a kid?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I like to think that
No.
I fully embraced my kid years, my childhood, with all of the things that I would explore, all the candies that I ate, all of the bad habits that I had and destroying furniture. Not that you should do it. But yeah, you were just like way the opposite of me.
Completely.
You were like, I say this often, it's like you were an adult child. And you know, when people call people adult children, it sounds like an insult. But you were a child who was like an adult.
Yeah, I bet your mom, like if we asked her, like, oh, okay, did Sam ever ruin any furniture, break anything? What did she do? She could have listed off so many things, so many more than you did in this podcast.
I think also my mom had, what is it called? Rose-colored glasses when it came to me. Like, no, even when I did bad, Samantha could do no wrong.
Yeah, my mom only remembered one thing, and the table was still functional.
And she
It was just
remembered
the leg that was a
She
little messed
remembered
up.
it so quickly too. Oh yeah, I remember that table that you broke.
And then that we got fixed for free. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, still haunts her though.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, it's like you were a worse child than me. Because
I think you're spinning it now.
Because, you know, my dad had no idea that I was doing all of these things. And
Neither did mine.
My siblings didn't care or remember. Like, if I brought any of this up, my sister would probably be like, "I don't remember that at all." Maybe me carving my brother's name into the TV console because I told her that and she thought it was funny. But nobody would have ever guessed because I was Sammy, the baby, and I could do no wrong. Meanwhile, you ask your mom if you've ever damaged furniture, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you broke our table." Like, everybody knows in our family. She tells everybody, "You're a bad kid." So really, you were worse than me.
Well, you know, if you want to follow Sammy the baby, she's at Sam's Pets and Plans. We're at A Recent Study Pod, and if you have your own studies, you can email them to us at arecentstudysuggest@gmail.com.
Yeah, and shares with a friend. That's the easiest way to get us out there and get the conversation started.
And you can follow me, the bad boy, at Robert Barbosa 03. Until next time.
Bye.